Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up gay culture. New survey reveals largest number identify as LGBTQ plus in American history. A new Gallup survey reveals a historic rise in the number of U.S. adults identifying as LGBTQ plus. About 9.3% of adults now identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or another LGBTQ identity, marking an increase of over 1 percentage point from the previous year. This number is nearly double what it was in 2020 and almost triple times higher than in 2012, when Gallup first began tracking queer identities. Poll experts believe the dramatic change in numbers is more Americans feeling it was okay to come out. In fact, the number could grow in the future. The new survey, which covered over 14,000 adults, also highlighted generational and gender differences. Nearly 1 in 4 Gen Z adults, 25%, identify as LGBTQ, a stark contrast to just 3% of baby boomers. The survey also showed that women were more likely to identify as queer than men, with 10% of women and 6% of men in the U.S. identifying as part of the community. Gallup suggests that these trends will continue to rise, driven by generational shifts. As acceptance grows, these figures reflect the ongoing progress in queer visibility and rights in America, even amidst the unfavorable political environment. Well, so, these numbers are no surprise to me, right? Gays have been everywhere since the beginning of time. We were talking about this before. And, we continue to be our true authentic selves and, and still be part of community. We're everywhere, okay? For people that say, I don't know a gay person, trust me, you do, okay? But will this number rise like Gallup says? I'm not really sure. From my seat, many folks might be forced to go back into the closet with the current way that things are going. If Project 2025, that has been opening up and showing us exactly what they told us they were going to do, continues to unveil its poison, right, I see a lot more people going into the closet. And again, these numbers they're not accurate. There's no way for them to be accurate. There are many people that will never, ever be out, right? Like a lot of Republicans, So, we are everywhere, and that has to give us a little bit of relief, because we are everywhere, even in Texas, even in, these places that we feel we're not wanted or not seen. We are. Are we counted? That's a whole other story.
Well, people were talking about that their grinder was blowing up during the CPAC in D.C.
Yes.
With those conservative, crazy freak shows. So these are the kinds of poll numbers I like to see. More and more of us coming out, saying it loud and proud, and it's certainly a welcome change from some of the more recent depressing polls we've covered.
100.
I mean, so it's nice to hear this.
Well, social media really helps bring this out, because when we were younger, there was no social media. Like, you thought you were alone, you were a freak, you didn't know who you were, but now social media says it's okay. Yeah. You're free to be who you are, and the world's going to love you.
Yeah.
Isn't
it interesting, though, that the poll said was that Gen Z was like 25%. So that's like 1 in 4 Gen Z.
1 in 4.
So that's so amazing, because, there's opportunity there, as someone as older, and that has gone through a lot of experiences in the LGBTQ plus community. It's important to have a clear message of, what we stand for and what we continue, to educate, really. And I'm hoping that we're resonating with them in that way, because I think that's the only way that we'll be able to move forward, and that we would resonate, then getting sucked up into the MAGA world.
No, we need those Gen Zers to be that way, and Z and Alpha and all of them need to. But I think that the reason that they are like that is going back to your point, Will, because they were born into social media. They were born into having that. Not like us that had to find little meetup groups or back alleys behind Ramrod, whatever. The
AOL chat
room. The AOL chat room. These are different times.
But it's interesting too, because the different generations they were talking about, we live in sort of a weird bubble here, because down here, all the generations are out. Everybody is out, and so we have kind of a slightly warped perspective, sometimes probably in other big cities, Chicago, New York. So it's interesting to see just all the numbers together.
And that's true. And to your point, like you saying, okay, according to the story, baby boomers were like 2 or 3%, right? There are so many baby boomers here in Wilton Manors, and it definitely is not. There's a few at the table, and it's not 2%. You know what I mean? Again, it's our different bubble down here in South Florida. Larry?
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment where Edward was going, but to say, looking at the numbers for the Generation Z, we need as more mature members of our community to encourage the Gen Zs and the ones to follow to harness the energy, be leaders in government, community, but also, economically, and show our power through our consumerism.
Yeah.
25% is a number you don't.
Impressive.
Right.
You want, you have to take a look at.
And you have to look and see where they're investing, these Gen Z
Absolutely.
people, and that's the sponsors I'll be looking for.
Right.
Absolutely.
And those Gen Z boys and girls that have like daddy or mommy issues, right? It's up to you to make sure that those folks know about the current climate, know the real facts, know what's going on, right? And don't get like just taken by what they see on Fox News, etc.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think we should be called baby boomers. Ever be called daddy? Than a baby boomer.
I said daddy.
Yeah, I am daddy. You guys daddies?
Sure.
Oh my God, Edward is still like, he's sure, I'm a daddy.
I never, it's so hard for me sometimes. I don't know where I fit in sometimes, even in the LGBTQ plus world. Am I a daddy? Am I a bear? Am I a this? Am I a that? It's kind of like, I'm just me,
That's right.
And we love you that way.
Thank you.
So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.